Well, we were supposed to have 40 k's this morning, and we've done way more than that already, in an hour and a half while I was driving. And the maps that we're using are not what they seem. So we've asked a few locals, and they've given us some pointed directions. Carry on straight on this road till you hit a tar road, then turn left. And that road goes to the national park. So the road to the national park that we had on the maps was not there. There was simply no road. And the road that we're on is not on the map. So we're taking the scenic route. We're not lost yet. As we go down the mountain again, yet another mountain, and we're not sure where we're going to come out now because, as I say, the road that we're on is not on the map, and our maps don't have this road, so we just follow it until we get somewhere. The road, and so is this. We have a vehicle standing ahead of us. Pulled off, resting. Broken. Abandoned. Ahead, we have a bridge problem. So let's see what the alternative is. I think we're going to have a river crossing. It looks like a river crossing to me. Ooh.
Crossing where though? Here?
Let's see.
Higher up.
Looks like this is the river crossing. Road rock with boulders on the other side. And a pretty little village on the top here. longer than Sani.
Well, no,
and more technical at times.
There's the
Definitely.
pass, just that last little section, the zig.
The Chinese have been here. And they're doing roads. And where there are roads, there are people. It also shows that we are on the South African border now, going north towards Bushman's Neck. And this is what we've got. We're at about 2,500 meters altitude, and we have brand new Chinese-made road. We're wondering what the point is. What is the end point? Bushman's Neck? Are we going to get a new border post in South Africa sometime? It's interesting. Over there in the valley, nice rain shower. Lesotho's little surprise, because below those buildings, that is South Africa. So we're traveling on the border on a brand new tar road, and this is not well known. We're on a little hilltop with a nice view over the thunderstorm to the west. Great big comms tower up there as well. And Bruno taking a break. And here's the work camp. Those that are producing the roads and the comms towers. Some of them in better nick than others. Chinese, yep. Chinese are busy improving Lesotho's infrastructure. We're back at crawling pace again, but not quite low range. And this road goes up, 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 and looks like it goes around that mountain.
Through it, it's really
Almost at the campsite, which is the old lodge where we were told to camp. This is the old lodge and campsite area. That is the old lodge. Is no more a lodge. That was the old lodge, and the grounds have been turned into the old campsite. Here we are in the Sehlabathebe National Park. We've chosen a campsite. We were down there by the stripy rocks earlier. You would have seen Bruno. Now we have moved up to Lakeside View, and this is Lakeside View Camp at the old lodge, which is up there. It looks like there's a bit of a storm brewing in the background. It happens to be New Year's Eve, and George and I have maybe spent New Year's Eve in the same place more than once, maybe twice in 15 years. So this is yet another New Year's Eve special at the Sehlabathebe National Park in Lesotho. I'll get that name right one of these days. As I said, lakeside view. You see, here's our little stream, and there's our lake. And we have the perfect campsite for Bruno tonight. I'm going to take my birding camera and do a little bit of birding, and George is still busy fixing the last few camp setups. As I said, on the lake, under the mountains, and surrounded by mountain wilderness. The lodge is no longer occupied, it's deserted in favor of the new lodge 5 k's over the hill. That thing about the Drakensberg, if you don't like the view, just turn. If you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes and you will see. We think there will be weather. Good morning, Happy New Year from southern Drakensberg, actually southern Lesotho, next to our little river. As we've got up to the sound of the bubbling little stream, there's already people coming down the hill to celebrate their New Year. And we had a bit of rain last night, so we made a little snug lounge next to the cruiser before we crept up to bed. Our lake is flat, flat, flat and calm this morning. And lots of birdies, lots of bird sound this morning. George is still lying in bed. Bye Bruno, see you later. We're going for a walk to try and find waterfalls and the South African border, and we'll connect our cell phones and have a and there's Bruno waiting patiently as we start on our morning hike. After a few kilometers, maybe 3, 4, who knows, 5, we come upon a shipping container in the middle of nowhere. As I turn to the left, you'll see our huts way down in the valley where we started, behind the rocks, right down there. We're looking down into South Africa. We're on the edge at the moment, hiking along the ridge. There are paths going up and down. We know that there are many footpaths between South Africa and Lesotho. We've done many of those footpaths ourselves in the past. There's the container. We've walked up this little hillock, got a bit of height, an extra 100 meters, and a lovely view. We're actually looking down into South Africa now. We'll put the cell phones on in a few minutes, check for some signal, and we'll have some breakfast here. Phew. We just took a New Year's selfie 5 minutes ago. It was nice and clear. And we turn around and the dragon's breath rolls in from the bottom. Here comes the mist. Just like that. This side misted up. Can't see much further than.
Decided that they wanted to go home. We've walked up here right on the edge of the mountain and we've got the dongle on, and I've been sending pictures to England and Australia and nowhere.
And out of the mist comes a horseman, just when we thought we were the only people on the planet. We were approached by a horseman. Another short little steep climb brings us up to another hill, to the top of another hill. Still misty in the valleys below. We've come up against some rock overhangs, which we'll walk along. We call this area Hobbiton, for all the hobbit holes. And it continues all the way around.
Celebrating. Their planet has just made a full circle around their star. I told you they weren't intelligent. And here we go from the other side, and I'm going to go up into the next level, up there, and immediately come upon a few more dwellings behind this rock wall in another little rock courtyard. Somebody's home once upon a time. And their rock wall. This could have been a stock pen for the village. Some shelter from weather and predators. And now we find the Taj Mahal of the settlement. This is where the big cheese lived and spent his time. This whole piece here. Garden walls, pretty flowers, dwellings, caves up there, overhangs. Isn't that amazing? And from here, they've leveled off this whole piece. They've leveled off this ground very nicely. And this would have been a sitting area, eating area, with various rocks for tables. And sleeping areas. This looks like the Garden of Eden to me. And then we go further into more dwelling areas and walls to separate things. It looks like somebody's small personal home here. Muddy holes everywhere. And here's another whole home set up with his flat ground in front of his entrance. He's got his mushrooms. He's got a triple mushroom roof area, and dwellings have been built up around the overhangs. We'll have a look inside this one quick. There. And there's sleeping platform and a chair and somewhere to put the food. And this one, a very nice flat area for sleeping, sitting, eating. Of course, you have to be a hobbit to get into some of these places, and big people like us will be able to get in normally. And I make my way back to where George is. He didn't want to go through all of them again. This is where they lived. And down the bottom here is a nice, good, strong flowing river. They would have had water year round, and they had a good view to keep an eye on any prospective invaders from up here. Bye bye, Hobbiton. These rock paths could have been built by the same community that built Hobbiton. I spent an hour or so with my camera here at the lake this afternoon, before the clouds came in so heavily, to get some birdie shots. There were a few interesting birdie sightings. Morning from day 4, 2nd of January. It's just before 6 o'clock, and it's rained most of the night, and there's a faint rainbow in the sky at the moment behind the lodge. So maybe there's a pot of gold in the lodge still. Everything is nice and wet around Bruno, but we slept nice and dry. You'll see how misty it is still. Although the rain is just a drizzle, there's quite a heavy mist at the moment.